Okay, this module is about the quick start. This is for anyone who wants to make the leap immediately. Maybe you're unemployed, maybe you're fun employed, maybe you are a stay-at-home parent and want to become a work-from-home parent. There are a million different reasons, or maybe you just want to speed through this process and you're willing to spend your evenings and your weekends to get you there quicker. I will refer to my notes here. I hope you all have a notebook. I think it's very critical. I keep my daily plan written down every day. And I think that in order to get through this stuff quickly and get to where you want to go, it's going to take a lot of work for the next couple of weeks. But it's all worth it in the end. It's truly worth it because there's a little tiny pot of gold at the end. So let's dive into the quick start. So the first thing that I would do is I would begin looking at the Teach English module. You probably, I'll go through some of the ins and outs of it right now, so you won't even need to really jump into that. And included at the end of this module, there will be a day 1, day 2, day 3 plan, and I'll include the resources on this. So teaching English is fantastic. I started out teaching VIP Kid, so that's what I'm going to speak to. The process takes approximately 1 week to get certified, and you need to be uber vigilant to make that happen. But it is well worth it. You will probably make between $20 to $22 an hour teaching English. You do half-hour sessions of 25 minutes a piece, and then you get 5 minutes off in between the sessions. You only work approximately 2, maybe 3 hours a morning. You can work 3 hours in the morning on Friday and 3 hours in the evening on Friday night, and then the same schedule for Saturday if you want to make a little extra cash. And that alone, this job alone will get you $1,800 to $2,000 a month if you work it. Okay, so the selection process. You're going to need to go on and create a very quick, down and dirty profile on VIP Kid. There are also 4 other modules inside the Teach English module. There are 4 other websites. So if you, for some reason, don't like VIP Kid or you don't get selected, you can try again at any of those 4, and I'm certain you'll get through one of them. So you need to set up your profile, and I would do that today. That is in step 1, day 1 of the quick start. Set up your profile at VIP Kid. They will probably call you and have a small conversation with you that's about 10 to 15 minutes long. You want to play up any experience you have teaching, because that will move you from $8 to $10 or $12 per session of a half an hour. Now, whatever price they tell you, you're going to get $2 per half hour bonus on top of that. As long as you teach 12.5 hours a week, you will get on top of if they say it's $8, that's really $10 an hour. So they're going to give you what is called your base rate. So you're going to set up your profile, you're going to have that conversation with them, and then the next thing for you to do is go out and get your supplies. The supply list is included, but I'm going to go over them really quick. You need an orange t-shirt. If you're not VIP Kid, there are other t-shirts for the other things. I suggest a polo. I went to the thrift store and got a $4.99 polo. Then I went to the dollar store and created a backdrop for myself. You can paste this right up on your wall. They want it to feel like you're in a classroom. This is very critical. Or you can have a blank wall and just buy a couple posters from the dollar store, some educational posters, and just put them up on the wall. And that sets up your classroom. Very cheap. $1 for the posters. Set up your little space with a blank background, put those up, or buy a $1 kids tablecloth for a party tablecloth and put that behind you. That's your classroom. So that's maybe, we're talking already now only $5 or $6 that you're out of pocket. Then what you need to do is you need to buy a couple of props. They suggest you have props. So look around the house. If you have kids already, you're going to probably have a little stuffed animal. I'd have it there just so you can play with it to pretend like it's like a puppet. If you have a puppet, even better. You could build a sock puppet if you wanted. So make this very affordable because you haven't been selected yet. You're just going through the process. So that's in your list. And then on top of it, you're going to want flashcards, both alphabet flashcards as well as colors and numbers, because you're going to pop those up. That's going to really help you. And then buy a whiteboard that you can write on. They have little tiny ones. All of this is at the dollar store. This list can be bought for less than $10. Then your shirt is another $5. If you go to the thrift store, wash it, you're talking $15 total to create what you need to do. I know I've known people that went out and spent $100 just on supplies to make their space look awesome, and then they didn't even get selected. So just do it on the cheap. Trust me on this. You really don't need much more even as you go forward and teach. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is sign up for your mock class. Do that as quickly as possible in the next 2, maybe 3 days max. Give yourself that deadline and race through this process, because the more immersed you are in it, the more you're going to listen and do the process and achieve the goals. The longer it takes you through this process, the more you're not going to remember the videos you watched, all of that sort of stuff. So sign up for your VIP Kid video, or your class, your mock class. That'll be in now you'll have 3 days to prepare. During the next 3 days, you need to watch Google on YouTube. Just do a search for VIP Mock Class 1, and then watch the most current one, because they change these. And then do everything like that. They're going to give you the slides ahead of time, so you'll be able to walk through this whole mock class process so easily. Don't fret. Once you take Mock Class 1, they're going to say you need to take Mock Class 2. So just be prepared, know that ahead of time, and then don't start preparing to it until they tell you at the end of Mock Class 1 that we want you to do Mock Class 2. That's so that they can see that you've changed. So this is number 1 in the quick start. Set yourself up on VIP Kid, set up for the mock class. Number 2 on the quick start, I'm going to suggest you go to the writing module. If you need money and want money immediately, there are multiple resume writing opportunities. I think there are 4 of them on there. I did Talent Inc. You can be selected to write resumes in less than 3 hours. So just note, when you enter this process, it's a very simple process. You're going to set up your profile, request the test. They're going to email you immediately the resume, the mock resume that you're going to have to tweak. They have a format there. It's super simple. You download their format, put that person's resume in their format, change some of the wording, and upload it. You have 1 hour. So once you start this process, know that the minute they send you that, you're going to have 1 hour. That's it. And then you're going to have uploaded that. So don't start this process unless if you've dedicated 3 to 4 really good hours to it. I didn't know this, so I started the process, and then I had to scram and move my schedule around and then really quick do the resume and submit it. But the cool thing is, after you submit it within the next hour, you're going to get an email back that says you're selected or not, so you'll know right away. Again, there are 4 companies on here. You don't make it through one, do the next one, the next one, the next one. These companies pay $40 per resume. You can approximately do 1 resume a day. At the beginning, it's a little slow. They'll give you 1. They'll want to give you feedback. You'll change that, but then after you've done a couple great resumes, they'll give you the opportunity to download 4 and 5 at a time. If you just did 1 resume every single day of the week, you're already on your way to a wonderful $1,200, $1,300 a month, and that's just 1 hour a day. You could be sitting while watching kids, cooking dinner, coming home from an audition. I don't know whatever your lifestyle is. If you're retired, just plunk in your 1 hour a day, do 1 resume, upload it, be done. That's $1,200 right there, just in this module alone. And the selection process is easy peasy. Like I said, you're going to set up your profile. They're going to immediately send you the test. You do the test within an hour. You send the test back. They send you an email saying you're done. And then they're going to have you upload information about your bank account information. It's just all you'll need is your routing number and your banking account number, because they're going to direct deposit that right into your bank. that is that module. Okay, so for the third thing that I would do, which I have found to be relatively beneficial for me, is Upwork. Upwork is one of the best freelancer marketplaces that exists. You can absolutely do some of the others. I just would start with Upwork because it's the easiest. They also have a free option on there. I'm on the $14.99 plan. I do voiceover, but I started out doing marketing freelance work. So before you go on and set up your profile, because this is going to take you a little time, I would definitely set aside a whole half a day. Probably do this on day 2 if you're going to do these all back to back. So day 1, you're going to set up your profile on VIP Kid, set up your mock class time frame, which is in 2 days from now, and then you're going to go on and then get qualified for your resume. Boom, done. Those 2 gigs alone are going to you can make over $3,000 a month just in those 2 gigs alone, if you just do those. Granted, they might be stopgaps. They might be just your baseline. Then you're going to add the Upwork profile, but you need to know what you want to consult in. Like I said, I consulted in, initially I started out consulting in marketing services, and then I eventually moved into voiceover, which I love. I don't work it as much as I could, but I get several gigs a month, and a lot of them are reoccurring gigs. So you're going to set up your profile. You're going to need to have a bio written. You're going to need to upload some form of work to show. If it's marketing, you're going to need to have like a bio about the companies you've worked with and that sort of stuff, because you're going to have to apply for every gig you want. So your profile is very critical. Put a professional photo up. Maybe some testimonials if you have them, because you're just starting out. And then build out that profile. And then the next phase of the process is you just click and do a job search. And so you can set up your job search criteria that fit your freelance choice, whether that's voice work like me, marketing, writing, web design, legal services. They have pretty much everything on there. And you can do a nice little search before you even set up, so you kind of know, but just know that you'll have some, and plus it's free, so you might as well just set it up anyway. Then what I do every morning is I open up my browser and I open up Upwork immediately. And so that Upwork that's uploaded there is ready to go for me. And then I just apply for gigs. The things that I would recommend that you do is write a cover letter that you can tweak per gig. Get some easily, readily accessible samples of your work. If it's graphic design you're doing, you want to have some samples that you can just upload very quickly, because there's a place as you submit the proposal, there will be a cover letter, and then there's a place to attach work. So you're going to want to have those available for you. And then you just start applying for gigs. Some months go where I don't apply for any gigs, and then there's some months when I have a lot of extra time and I apply for 10, 15, 20, 30 gigs. And then I work all the time doing that. So that's a great opportunity. So that's number 3. And then number 4, which sounds crazy, is going to be Airbnb. I think, now I know that times are changing a little bit right now, but Airbnb has been an amazing source of income for me. I have a profile on Airbnb where I do both house stay, where people can stay at my home when I'm not home. I also did have it so people could stay. I rented out a room when I was home. At 40 years old, I didn't want to have a roommate, and this offered me the flexibility to say no sometimes and block my room, but then have it available if I wanted to have a little extra cash coming into the household. And you can usually get about $50 a night. So this is a great opportunity if you live alone, or if you're in your middle age and you would like to have your own apartment in New York City or LA or San Francisco, but you don't want to have a full-time roommate. This is a great way to supplement that income and use your household. The next way I've made money on Airbnb is that I've managed other people's rentals. So I've managed my my in-laws rentals. I've managed friends rentals. So I happen to have a network of individuals that have a second home that they wanted to rent out, or maybe they were renting it out long term, but then we switched it over to a short term. And this is a great way to make some extra cash. If you have friends, you can manage their house rental. So you manage the process from creating the profile and putting up the photos and all of that stuff, all the way through the rental process. And you might charge 10 to 15%. And so everything that they're making, you're making 10 to 15%. And all you're doing is responding and corresponding back and forth. Possibly getting a maid or a cleaning service to clean for you, which is great as well. And so you just set up that process. And the third way that I've made money on Airbnb is through tours, to become a tour guide. This is really fun. When I'm home at my house here in Utah, I have a little hiking tour that I give a couple times a week. People pay me $29 to come along on the tour. I'm going to go for the hike anyway. And I talk a little bit about the history, and then we do a 3-hour tour. I've added a little sunset piece to it where we can kind of see the sunset from a really pretty location. It's a great way to make money. And now I have gone on many of these all over the country, from tapas tours to historic tours to pottery in someone's class, to horseback riding, all through Airbnb. And these people are making fantastic amounts of money through this. So if you want to get creative and you want a little something fun, this is an amazing way that you can start immediately. The process for this is that you're going to have to go on Airbnb and set up a profile if you don't already have one. You will want to take photos of your space if you decide to rent out your own room. It may take you a little bit of time if you decide to manage someone else's, but great opportunity. And it's better if you already have that Airbnb profile ready to go. And then if you're going to do a tour guide, be a tour guide and do your own tour or your own experience. They call them experiences. Because it could be wine tasting in your house. It could be tapas, a paella cooking. I've gone to paella cooking. I mean, whatever you think of, whatever your specialty area is, you can do it. There's someone who wants to buy that experience and go on it with you. Take them through the farmer's market in your local farmer's market every Thursday, if that happens at Thursday mornings. You could say farmer's market tour, and then take pictures of that. So these are 3 opportunities in Airbnb. So you need to set up your profile. You want to have pictures for all of them. If you're going to do a tour, you need to have a very well laid out itinerary of what that tour looks like, so people know what they're going to get, and then choose to decide if you want to put in refreshments or some little add-ons. I would check out some other people's tours or experiences to see what they look like, to make sure that yours is competitive. Always start out a little low, and then you can increase your price rates, especially with rooms as well. I think I've rented out the room here in my house. I think I have 189 reviews or 192 or something like that now. So that's an awesome way to make some extra cash, and not to have someone at your house all the time, but on your terms. Or rent out your home when you're gone on vacation, or rent out a family member's home, or manage something. I'm sure everyone knows somebody. So let's recap. This is your quick start. So the first thing I would do is teach English. I would immediately start my profile. And that same day, I would look at writing resumes, because that can pay out immediately, quickly. If you don't like resume writing, skip it. Any combo of these things is going to get you to $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So then third, set up your Upwork profile and do some consulting. Be prepared to apply and apply and apply and apply all day long. Making some breakfast, put in some applications, make it a copy-paste experience so it's super easy. So you ran some errands, you come home, you can put all of these have apps, you can put them right on your phone. Literally every one of these has apps. Then finally Airbnb. Either rent out a space in your home, manage someone else's, a friend's space to rent, or start an experience. And those you can be approved and ready to go within a day or two on all of those. So if you do these things in 3 days to 4 days, set up your VIP kid, your resume writing, your Upwork and your Airbnb profiles, and then begin marketing those things, you will literally be making money within a week. The nice thing about Airbnb is it pays the day after the people leave or check in. Upworks takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get your payments, so just know that happens. VIP Kid pays on the 17th and the 5th of the month, so, or maybe it's the 25th and the 5th of the month. So wherever you fall, you'll get a small paycheck to begin with, and then you'll get a much larger paycheck the second go round. And then resume writing, they're going to pop that into you every week at the end of the week. So how many ever you upload, they'll put that right into your payment, into your checking account at the end of the week. So these are great opportunities to do a quick start. This is what I would do. I would recommend to anyone who wants to just hit the ground running. And then you can add some of the other modules as you go along. And if you do nothing else, try teaching English. Super easy, great way to make some cash. And it happens really early in the morning, so it doesn't even impede the rest of your life. You can literally do the rest of everything else and have already made some nice little bit of extra cash. Okay, I hope this helps you. I will include a day-by-day summary of what I would do the first 5 days of this process, and how to get to your money as quick as possible. Best of luck, and I hope you are living your life and carpe diem. Obviously, as I like to say, either start building your dreams or someone else is going to hire you to do theirs. So, best of luck.